Hey everybody, we are live, sort of. I have went ahead and started. I think there are some technical difficulties on Griz's end of the dial. So until those technical difficulties are solved, I decided I'd just go ahead and get started this way. And hi everybody, it's me. I'm Zenny Abraham, and waiting for. I'm obviously not Griz Jones. This is the Griz Jones Forever Oakland show. Hey, but Griz is not yet on yet, so on Skype when he does call, I'm gonna go right over to him. And hey, Karen, how are you? I'm actually waiting for Griz right now. He is a bit late. He said, "Don't call me, I'll call you," or words to that effect. We're trying to get a hold. He goes, "Hang up so I can call you." But whatever's going on, he's not able to reach in. So I have a sneaking suspicion he may try to call me in the middle of this. So if I break away, you'll know that's what's happening. But we are into now the final week of preseason. And for the Raiders and for the NFL. And we've had an interesting week. The Raiders played the Cowboys and lost. The Falcons opened their beautiful new Mercedes-Benz Stadium and lost. The Rams played the Chargers and lost. Kind of adding up there. Interesting, isn't it? Now we had, among other things, I'll tell you what I find quite interesting. Hello, everybody. Is this, that in the games so far for the Raiders, not once, check it out for yourself because I did, not once have the Raiders crossed the magic 300-yard mark of total offense. That's right. That magic mark that you want to achieve when you combine running and passing, the Raiders have not crossed that mark once. Not even close. Why is that important? I'll tell you why. Because the hallmark of any great offense is to cross the 300-yard barrier, and really today the 400-yard barrier with ease, regularly. The stream is just okay. Hopefully it gets better than that. But maybe it's whatever's going on. It's better than poor, and it's better than bad, right? Or very poor. At any rate, you want to cross that 300-yard mark when you can. I'm going to write hello all, and that's not happening, okay? I believe this is a cause for concern, and the reason why I assert that it's a cause for concern is that, well, quite simply, as poorly as the Raiders' defense has performed, you need an high-powered offense. Now, a lot of this I attribute to the Raiders just not forming game plans during preseason. So there's a lot of room for improvement. But still, you want to see that your base offense can get the job done. Even that you got a good play concept that will get you through the day, right? That will allow you to pick up yards without having to scheme so much. I'm calling Griz right now, see if we can get him back. Because it's 11:40. And Griz also is going through a bit of a tough time with he and his his partner's grandmother. So I'm calling Griz. See what's going on here. I'm ringing Skype. This is what I'm doing, folks. We use Skype to communicate. This is what let me show you. See that? Greg Jones. And nothing's happening. See? So, folks, give me one moment. I'm going to call Griz real quick. I will be right back. So let's see what's going on. Um, nope, nope, not crickets. Not crickets yet. Sorry about that. I was on the phone with the Griz. I was on the phone with the Griz. I had this phone. He's having problems, technical difficulties with Skype, so I'm going to switch over to Facebook right now and get him, and then I'm going to shut down Skype. That was what was going on. So sorry for the crickets. I'm writing BACK back with an exclamation point, and sorry for the crickets. And so, hey, the Rollins, we're back. Don't worry. Now, I am going to get Griz via Facebook. And again, I'm sorry for this. It's just that what happened was his Skype was sticking. We tried last week a connection and it worked. And whatever was going on, I don't know. So, let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay, let me see here. Got him. Messages. Where's Griz Jones? Try that one more time. Bear with me, folks. Scrolling down to get Greg Jones. And, let's see here. Interesting. Try it another way. There he is. You know, sometimes you put this up, right, for Messenger, and it doesn't go on the way that you think it should, right? Go to Messenger. There he is. So you do it by phone. Call by phone. Calling by phone. This is what I'm doing, folks. Watch. Hey, is Barry Lee here? This is what I'm doing. Hold on a second. There he is. All right, we got you. You're frozen. Uh-oh. We got the freeze ray again. Oh, we're going to have a freeze ray night. Hey, Barry Lee is here. Barry Lee is here, but we got a freeze ray going. Someone has frozen Griz Jones. See, he is frozen in time. So he's going to try again. There is clearly something going on with his phone there, so we're going to try again with... We're going to wait for him to try again. And I believe I'm going to try to call him again, see what that happens. But I think when that happens, you're supposed to, let's see what, try it again. Is it just me or is this shimmering? Call failed. Wow. Close window. Try it again. Huh. Hold on a second, folks. Trying to get Griz. I'm live. Hello. We have Greg Jones, but not the face. We have the voice. No, we don't have a voice. I can't hear a thing. Oh boy. Well, sorry folks, we have these technical difficulty thing again. For some particular reason, he tried his Skype. He says, let's do audio, so we're going to do audio, okay? Alright. So we're going to do audio. And like last week, as by his per request, okay? So I'm going to do the audio and call him. And here we go. And here we go. Sorry about the tech stuff. Hello? Griz?
Hold on for 1 second here.
All right. Hey,
So, hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I was going to say...
Wonderful. Sorry about that. As you know, we practiced with the Skype last week and worked just fine.
Right.
But here we are, my people. We'll have to do audio again.
Hey, did you try restarting your computer? It would free up your RAM, because because that usually does the trick for Skype.
Okay.
You
I see you, though.
Oh, you see me? Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. Well, what we can do is we can talk on the phone while I start the computer up. How's that?
Sounds like a capital idea.
Yeah. So
we're all here. Guess what? Barry Lee is here.
Yeah. Let's talk to all your audience.
Yeah, Barry Lee.
And,
I got to tell you this because Barry Lee is in Sequin, Texas, one of the areas that has been devastated, although not as much as other parts, by Hurricane Harvey. And Barry Lee was kind enough to do a 5-video series for us on Saturday of what was going on down there. So, quite worried about him. But Barry, one of our great viewers and moderators, is back. Was looking forward to seeing you. He wasn't going to miss this show, Godfather.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's alive. That's the thing. He is alive. Alive and kicking. Barry, glad you're here, my man. Wow, what a story. What a story.
I can see you and I can see the chat. Good evening to all your supporters. I see Darren Arata, Barry Lee, Cook Snipes in the house, Darren Christensen, Emma Scott. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it's good to see everybody in there.
Yeah. Hey, Coog, how y'all doing? Hello. Hey, Barry. Barry's been picking up tree limbs all day. And my gosh. And Tony Piling says, hey, Barry, glad to see you're okay. Barry says, Godfather, you are the man. And Sheldon Ponder asked me who has a good season so far, in my opinion. I'll get to that in a second. Darren Arata says, hey, Steve. And Darren says, I'm always listening. Darren Arata is in the house. Wait a minute. I just processed that. Boy, you know what? Do you realize this is 1 week? Is this 1 week after the eclipse? Is that right?
It is the week after
the eclipse. 1 week after. And all the planets are aligning so nicely. Isn't that cool? Our fortunes are...
Yes, that's very cool.
If fortunes favor the foolish, then you know what? We're pretty freaking lucky. I'll tell you that.
Right.
But did I say that right? Yes, I did. But anyway, Coog Snipe. Man, oh man. So, Godfather, what is the latest? Or you want to do that little tech thing and then tell me?
No, everything's good, man. We just, there's always something going on. Mm-hmm. We can reflect back on the eclipse and then what we're getting into. I don't know how many of your folks watched the Mayweather-McGregor fight. Actually,
I did, but a lot of us were paying attention to Hurricane Harvey because, among other things, we didn't know what was going on with Barry, and something like 15 trillion gallons of water was dropped on it. T. Cooper is here. Hey, how you doing, T. Cooper? So,
hey, good evening to the heavyweight champ, T. Cooper. Nice to have you in the house, my man.
And so, Barry, we got to ask you, are you okay down there? Because the rain is going to continue through Thursday. And Barry's response is, yeah, we're all good here. And Seguin, just a lot of downed trees. Thank God for that. That's the only problem. There are parts of Houston, Griz, that are underwater. Places that I went to last fall during the NFL owners meeting that I recognize because I remember the before picture, the after picture, they're basically a sea. I have never seen that in my entire life, and it's not right, not cool. And so Barry says, not here is in fact, the sun came out this evening here. Yay! Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's we have to acknowledge all those people down there in that part of the country who went through that devastation. That's horrible.
Much
yeah. Prayer, much looking out for them, because this is going to be a rescue effort that's going to take some time. And so everybody else, we're here for them. Zenny 62 Forever Oakland Show is here for them. And if there's any way we can help with aid, I'm sure that there's going to be different things coming up on social media and the media that will allow us to help those folks down there.
Hey, Small Business Administration's hiring. I'm going to sign up. So if you were looking to get involved and, hey, need some work, the SBA definitely needs you. They put out the call today a couple hours ago. Actually, 5 hours ago by email. So SBA, Small Business Administration, helps by administering loans to small businesses. They're going to have a lot of work, which means there's a lot of work for you and me. So check out sba.gov for more information. Now, getting to the other matter of the weekend. Yeah, did you watch the fight?
Yeah, we had some of our core staff here, and myself personally, a couple months ago, I thought the fight would be very intriguing. I didn't really plan out who I wanted to win, and I have Irish in me. But I will say this: the WWF promotion of this whole thing, of them touring everywhere and doing tons of talking, the more McGregor talked, the more I wanted Mayweather to win. And I know it's for ratings. I know they wanted people to watch this, but that guy did so much talking. And what that reminded me of is, you can do all the talk in the world on a public forum. You can talk on social media. Talk means nothing until you get down to brass tacks. And what Mayweather did from that first round or two, when he had his arms up chasing him, totally unorthodox of what he does, my first thought was strategic. And then when you watch the whole fight, he strategically outthought that guy, got him tired, and he beat him. So, like I said, the more that guy talked, and I know people wanted to win, the more I wanted the other guy to win. And I didn't have any interest in either one of them until I saw the other guy talk too much. Talking, that's just not my thing. I know if you're a wrestling fan, that's cool. But when it comes down to actions speak louder than words. And Mayweather, the 40-year-old man, outthought him, had more stamina, and beat him.
Wow, yep. You know what I take from that, Godfather Griz? I take from that after the fight, Conor McGregor wearing this Tommy Bahama-style sport coat with an open neck dress shirt with a button-down collar, sunglasses, and a glass of tequila, and at the mic. And I'm watching it with my mom, and I'm saying to my mom, watch this, because I knew that at some point that drink was going to hit his head, quite literally, harder than perhaps Mayweather hit him. And what came out was hilarious. Oh, guys, this is whiskey. I could not stop laughing.
That's just my opinion of watching how the last few months have gone with the promotion and watching the fight. And the ref, people can have their opinion about the ref stepping in early or not, but at that moment, Mayweather was knocking him around, and if he kept knocking him around, the guy would have eventually fallen. So in boxing, the ref steps in like that.
Yeah, I want to shift gears a little bit, because I think the chat is all about what's going on with Houston, and Karen Christian says, "Oh my God, I completely forgot the Texans were in Houston. I hope the stadium will be okay." And Tony Piling says nobody's saying anything about McGregor hurting Mayweather and the ref stepping in and saving him. It's an interesting point. Crawford says, "Can we have a moment of silence for the people in the situation in Houston?" And Crawford 371 I think calls it. So everyone, a moment of silence for the people in the situation in Houston and South Texas. All right. And Griz, how's your grandma?
Um, well, Monica Lynn, she she's around the clock as much as you can with her aunt and mom of monitoring now at the rehab center, and just there's a little concern due to the eating and the fluids right now. So we really amped up our prayers. We want to thank everybody out there who have been putting their heartfelt prayers into assisting Grandma Monica and her family. Really appreciate it. Right now, this theme dominates our lives. Um, so thank you for asking, Zenny. And if you don't mind, in honor of like those people in Houston, let's take like 10 seconds in a moment of silence to pray for Grandma Carmen's recovery.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's something else. I mean, this is I've never seen. I just have to say this. Hey, Joseph, good evening. Hey, Boss is here. Barry Lee says Karen, the Texans were staying at the request of the Cowboys in Dallas at their headquarters, and their Thursday night game has been moved to Dallas. The stadium in Houston is fine. Hey, there are 46 of you watching. I want to say welcome to Zenny62 on YouTube. It's Godfather Griz night. It's
Good evening, my people.
a different night because one of our own, Barry Lee, lives in Seguin, Texas, and he's about 4 hours from Houston, closer to San Antonio, but nonetheless part of the circumstances, devastating circumstances. He just got tree branches around his place of residence. Others, obviously closer into Houston, got it far worse. But when you're not down there and you're not where he's living, and you watch television, you tend to think that every place is like Seguin, Texans around there. Every place is underwater. Thankfully for Barry Lee, that's not the case. So we're basically trading notes. It's that kind of evening where we've got a number of different things going on. And Crawford371 says, thankfully, you are okay and safe, Barry. And Darren says, God bless all those affected in Texas. And Darren Rada says, in prayers and well wishes to Monica's grandmother as well. And I second that. And Barry Lee says he's getting emotional for all the prayers for Houston. ML Scott says, thumbs up, everyone, for the show. And it's great to have everybody's support here. All right, Godfather, let's get us centered. And Karen Christensen says, that's good. I was upset about the senior citizens, a senior citizen left in the home without evacuating him. Yeah, it was a horrible story, Karen. It really was. Godfather, let's get us centered, man. Tell us what's happening. Now that we've gotten the our appropriate respects, in their appropriate first position. What's going on with Fairs Oakland? What's the latest?
Just with us, there's always all kinds of stuff going on. We're getting close to a huge meeting coming up on Friday, September 15th, which deals with our Joint Powers Authority in getting behind our citizen-driven initiative. The night before that Friday, we're kicking off the Make Oakland Better Charity Festival, the NFL's longest tailgate in the NFL. And that Thursday night, September 14th, 7 p.m. and on, we will be having a media blitz. So we'll be discussing our longtime NFL tailgate. We'll be discussing Making Oakland Better. We'll be discussing Forever Oakland, and we'll touch light on that Friday's JP meeting. It's the crucial meeting of having the municipalities and the citizen-driven initiative merge even more. So between now and that time, we have nonstop work behind the scenes, dealing with different entities, dealing with defined language, making sure that everything's in line, everything's in order, everything's going to hit all cylinders. So we're excited about that. And I want to ask you a quick question. I didn't have a chance to tune in last night.
Me?
But how did your interview go with the former mayor, my man?
Oh, hey everybody. How did you like the interview with Elihu Harris? And I'll just wait for the comments to... While they're writing their comments, I'll answer your question in kind. I was extremely pleased considering that I only contacted him 3 hours before Godfather. And he Elihu Harris, for those of you who don't know, of those watching almost 50 right now, Elihu Harris, Emma Scott says loved it. Elihu Harris was mayor of Oakland from 1991 to 1999, and he was the person who presided over the city and stewarded the staff during to work on the return of the Raiders to Oakland. Elihu is my mentor, longtime friend, full of funny stories, which he told last night. And I remember the last time we talked about Al Davis before last night, Elihu described Al Davis and Joe Alioto. If you don't know who Joe Alioto is, you don't know true Raider history. I'm sorry you don't. The reason is that Joe Alioto was the Raiders' main lawyer during the relocation attempt from Oakland to Los Angeles starting in 1980 and then ending in 1983 with a Supreme Court victory, officially. And Elihu described Alioto and Al Davis walking into his office as good cop and bad cop, or he would say, he said bad cop and batter, yeah. But last night, he said that both of them came in wearing shark skin suits. And he said they were nice, gotcha. They were cordial, but you didn't want to be in the room by yourself with them, and he was in his own office by himself with them. He said they make it quite clear where they're coming from and what they want. And Elihu talked about, he told me something I didn't know. Maybe you did. But he said that Mark Davis does not own the Raiders. Carol Davis, his mother, does. Carol Davis.
It's interesting she does.
Yeah.
There's some. I mean, obviously she does, but he put himself in position legally, I think, to help guide that process.
Well, that's one thing that Elihu was very emphatic about. And he also said that he was quite critical of the current mayor's efforts and said that, not in a bad way. What I mean by that was, in a critical way, a way where you provide constructive criticism. And I asked him about it, and we talked about it off camera, just, two friends chatting, as much as a former boss and his aide can chat about things and be two friends about this sort of thing, right?
Sure.
But he said that he felt that the business community should have been solidly behind, and not, let me rephrase that. He felt that she should have gotten the business community behind like he would have done if he were mayor. And I've seen this, where he made personal calls to CEOs. By contrast, Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf left it to Jim Wonderman at the last minute to get the business community of the Bay Area involved, quote unquote. And it was in Wonderman. I said Wonder Woman. I had Wonder Woman on my mind. Sorry about that. Jim Wonderman, the CEO of the Bay Area Council, had a letter representing 160 businesses, but he didn't have the business people out there showing up even at the rally or having meetings beforehand. It was all at the last minute. Elihu would not have done that. Elihu would have established a task force. The businesses would have been on it. He would have had a stadium design out and done. We talked about that. Elihu talked about how, there were a lot of questions about whether or not Elihu or the Raiders, Oakland is losing all of its sports teams now. But Elihu reminded us that Oakland almost lost all of its teams in the 90s. But first of all, we got the Raiders back from Los Angeles in 1995. We built a new arena for the Warriors, which were actually at one point really threatening to move themselves. And he also corrected us on something that is forgotten. Oracle Arena is basically, if you take 1998, 2008, it's a 19-year-old stadium, okay? It's not old. It's only 19 years old. However, people, particularly those who don't live in Oakland or are not familiar with the Bay Area, look at it and say, well, it's old. The only truly old part of Oracle Arena is the crosshatch design around. That was left. But if you take a look at the construction photos from 1998, everything inside was destroyed, gutted out, rebuilt in anew. And the only improvement the Warriors have said they wanted and was a justification for being a chase is satellite kitchens. You can build satellite kitchens in Oracle Arena. So my contention, Godfather, is that we have enough of a population base now to have not one, but 2 NBA teams. And the NBA ought to let us have an expansion franchise if they're going to let the Warriors,
Well, no, I'm all about Oakland Raiders football, and I'm a Oakland Warriors fan.
I like the Oakland Warriors. See, there's the name for them.
I'm all about the Oakland Raiders football. I'm excited for the fact that it sounds like, but I want to hear it officially, that the Oakland A's, led by President David Cavill, are looking off-site, but they have to make that announcement officially. And basically what it comes down to is this whole process of
something else I got to tell you.
Should have happened months ago.
I got to tell you something, though. Godfather, I got to tell you this, man. LU said that he would have let the NFL have the land. Okay?
That would surprise me. We had a conversation recently about how back then those people that were representing us were more sports and business savvy compared to now. So that would surprise me. All I'm saying right now is everything's falling in place for the land for Oakland Raider football. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a process. It's going to be a very interesting process to alter the situation, along with the path that the Raiders had to go to Vegas on their own, which isn't an easy path. I know you break that down. Social media breaks that down. A lot of people, criticize it all the time on social media because it doesn't make logical sense. The other theme that we're hoping to appear here very soon will help alter the situation. So having an Oakland A's off-site, going to a place in Oakland that's better for baseball, it's more the modern theme, and then preserving that land, making sure it don't get hijacked for biotech. It's there for Oakland Raider football and the Oakland Raider identity. So our citizen-driven initiative, we got some things we got to do. We got some things we'll be announcing after the 15th to alter this situation. And we have to impress upon these municipalities to make sure they make Oakland better and do the right thing.
Godfather, did you talk to Mark Davis, man?
Do I talk to Mark Davis?
Did you talk to Mark Davis?
I've had conversations with Mark Davis.
As recently as when? Like a couple days ago?
No, I mean, no, not a couple days ago.
Okay.
Why would you ask that?
The tone of your voice led me to think, hey, wait a minute. He's got the spring in his voice. He knows something the rest of us don't know. And
I may, but like I said, you know how you always ask me, hey, Godfather, you may not want to answer this question. I always say, ask any question you want. I just may not answer it the way you want it.
Keep talking, man. I like this.
To me, even if I talk to Mark Davis a couple days, that's not intriguing. The only way Mark Davis and I would ever have a conversation from this point on is if we're discussing how he's going to get it done in Oakland.
Exactly. And that's why I was piecing together your sentences, and I thought, I wonder, because it sounds like, and so I thought I'd ask. Because it does, look, as much money as this thing is costing in Las Vegas, and with all the stuff that's not done, and the fact that we're in an FAA public comment period, to remind everybody, which ends on the 15th, which ironically enough is the public comment period for the FAA for the stadium in Oakland ends on the same day as the Joint Powers Authority meeting. I think, just coincidentally. And by the way, the Stadium Authority meeting is the day before in Las Vegas. Interesting how this...
Hey, Monica just came in the room.
Hey, Monica.
You're welcome, Monica, for all this praying for you.
Hey, Monica, we're praying for you.
And grab them.
Hey, Monica. Monica says, I'm here, gentlemen. Sorry, someone at my desk. I've been listening. Just couldn't respond until now. Thank you, everyone, for the love and prayers for Grandma. Greatly appreciated, Monica. We love you, definitely. And Rudy Gomez says, Mr. Z, it seems it's becoming more publicly known that Jerry Jones has ties to the stadium construction in Vegas. Actually, that's old news. And I know what you're talking about, but that's old news about legends. And he said, can this be viewed as illegal tampering or something along those lines? The simple answer is no. Jerry Jones partnered with the New York Yankees to create legends. But see, what this gentleman was referring to, Rudy Gomez, is an article that was written in the Las Vegas Sun by Adam Candy. And here's the problem with that article. It only goes part of the way. Because what Adam did not either know, he basically didn't know, is that Jerry Jones also owns Construction Sports and Leisure. What is Construction Sports and Leisure? Well, it just so happens to be the consulting firm that, among other things, has done a ticket survey for the Raiders for Las Vegas. It worked with Las Vegas Sands and Majestic and the Raiders on the studies for the Southern Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee last year. So Jerry Jones has had his hand in this thing from the start, either by Construction Sports and Leisure, or Legends. Legends is the organization.
Let me interject. Sure. I agree with you. Just so everyone knows, here's a moment. I might have shared on your last show, Zenny. Mm-hmm. But I want to share again.
Sure.
The first preseason home game, that Friday night to Saturday night overnight tailgate, which was awesome. And the reason why it was awesome is because my Valley is pro Oakland, forever Oakland. Mm-hmm. It's the autumn win is a forever Oakland Raider turf. So that has been collectively decided by our core staff. We're keeping that.
You want to repeat that?
We're not supporting the Oakland organization or the NFL. We're supporting what we do because we have so many ties in this community. It's not like a season ticket holder or two. We have all these ties. But what I will say is this: at some point that Saturday, as the Godfather is resting after doing some cooking, and we are a great full hospitality, and we'll be this week again, as we always are, no matter what event we host. There were people coming through Ma Valley, and there was all positive vibes, regardless if some were autumn wind forever Oakland Raiders or if they were wherever the wind blows Raiders. So all of those people came up to me, and 2 or 3 of them started talking at the same time. And I'm listening, I'm just listening. But all of them, regardless of where they stand, when they're not on Ma Valley, we're saying we're behind your Godfather, we're not behind Mark Davis, forget Vegas, forget all that. And some of these people do videos that I hear about through my staff, because I don't watch a lot of those videos, but I hear about through my staff, the grapevine, how some folks, when they were holding the stay in Oakland signs and when the conditional relocation was okayed, they stopped, and then they said they're pro Vegas. So there's a lot of watered down folks like that. But what I said to all of them was this.
Watered down folks.
I said, no matter if you're a forever Oakland, autumn wind winner like myself in the turf you're standing on, or if you're wherever the wind blows Raiders, and if you are, you guys haven't identified yourself, all of you are getting screwed by the NFL Mark Davis. So if your eyes are open or not, and this is just my opinion, because I didn't go into a lengthy discussion, I was listening to them talk, every one of you, they don't care about the culture, they don't care about you, and for you, wherever the wind blows Raiders, you don't understand what the Jerry Joneses, the Robert Krafts, and the NFL is going to do to that organization if they make it to Vegas. They're going to totally destroy from inside out our mystique. They want to turn into a Jerry world. They want to make it a Vegas entertainment place. So we, forever autumn wind Raiders, don't follow Mark Davis. Mark Davis is very nice to me. He's very sincere to me, but he's not my leader. I don't follow him. As you guys know, he offered me a job of a lifetime. I said I can't compromise forever Oakland. So for those wherever the wind blows Raiders, you got to open your eyes on what's really going on behind the scenes, because the NFL elite and Mark Davis does not care about you either.
Hey, first Dave Lawrence. Wow, that was a burner. You set my computer off. I gotta turn it off. What? I
was just being. Hey, as you know, as you can see, I'm professional without using slander. Go ahead.
Wow. Now, Dave Lawrence, you're right. The public comment period was shortened to the 30th of August, which is Wednesday. So you have until the 30th of August to get your comments in regarding the impact that the proposed stadium will have on McCarran International Airport. Yeah, they did shorten the public comment period. I think it was a travesty that they did. I would be surprised if they get any comments back, considering how short it is. Gives me an idea, but I digress. The bottom line, however, is you have basically 2 days. You have tomorrow, the 29th, and the 30th to get your comment in. And that's it, okay? That's it. So if you're wondering, and you want to make a comment regarding it, and you've got maybe some FAA expertise or something like that, I'm going to help you out here. I'm going to right here give you the email. Actually, I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to give you the web page where you can look and submit comments if you want to. And one moment, bear with me while I get the information. And thank you for the investment, Coog. Got that. Thank you. I'm going to my FAA contact and right here. And that was, there it is. Found this email and got that. And so here we go. I've got the statement there. But let me go back here and scroll down. And there it is. There it is, the public notice. And when the public notice, there's the public notice and there's the letter here. And there's that. It'll be up in a PDF viewer. And it's, let's see here, issue date.
So just let me. As you're doing that, can I interject something?
Yeah, well, yeah, oh, absolutely, Godfather. I'm just writing FAA right here, okay? And
no, I think what you're doing is fantastic. What I want to interject is you're offering people an opportunity to comment on something that they're sincere about opposing what's going on over there.
Yes, sir. And the link is right there. It says FAA : and you can do that right now. And not only that, I'm going to tell you, I'm getting really excited now. I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do to really put your 2 cents into this. What you have to do, okay, is this, all right? First of all, it says see the reverse side for the additional information. It says seeking public comment and all that, all right? Now, as I scroll down, there are 7 pages. Let me scroll through here. And additional information, location, effective aeronautical information. You can basically take, okay, they've got all that, all right? They've got those notifications in there, but they don't have, where do you send the email? And, okay, they have aeronautical study, and they said the notice may be reproduced and circulated by an interested person. You are invited to participate in the aeronautical study by submitting comments to the above FAA address. Okay, and that is Mail Processing Center, Federal Aviation Administration, Southwest Region Office, Obstruction Evaluation Group, 1001 Hillswood Parkway, Fort Worth, Texas. So my thought is what you want to do is make sure that this is postmarked by today, tomorrow, or the 30th, all right? And get it out there. So what I'm doing right now is the letter that I just gave the link.
That, I'll touch on something. Go ahead.
Yeah, the letter, hold on a second. I'm going to write FAA again. The letter that the letter I am sending you, okay, is just what you need to fill out. Now, realistically, do I expect the FAA to reject it? No, I don't. At all. But it's a good idea to have a comment, you know? What I expect is what I've said before. I expect this thing to price itself into oblivion. That's exactly what I expect. To heap cost after cost after cost after cost after cost on this project until at some point someone says, "Uncle, we can't do this." Okay? That is what I expect to happen.
And let me interject something real quick, Zenny. And I'm glad you explained all that to everybody. So as you just explained to folks how they can utilize that link to oppose anything that's happened down there, we just want to remind everybody that support your show, support us worldwide, 7 days out of the week, 365 days of the year, that We have to put ourselves in a position in Oakland. I'm going to talk about Oakland with these different committees that we have created, dealing with our politicians, dealing with the NFL, with the Oakland Raiders, dealing with our community, dealing with charities. We have to put ourselves in a position. We have raised our energy. We have raised up our notch to clean this whole mess up with this conditional relocation and with how things get done here in Oakland. So we are addressing both fronts. I don't know how much people understand that, but behind the scenes, we are addressing both fronts outside of our normal routine tailgates, outside of our normal routine charities, and outside of our normal routine lives with our jobs, with raising our families, with living day to day and doing normal stuff. So we have all these multiple tasks going on, and we have these wonderful guys and gals behind the scenes that have collectively come together in the strongest kind of way to address this situation with the NFL, to address the Oakland Raiders, and to address our politicians. Because this whole process has to work together. We have to be in position to be like a catcher's glove. We have to be in position to be like a net. So as Vegas, this attempt to get to Vegas has the obstacles, and its own obstacles of the NFL trying to get us out, or the NFL trying to destroy our identity, which they can never do here. We have to be in position to make sure that when that don't work, we're in a position to have the land for football. We're in a position to have good leadership on the political level. And the interesting thing is the group I'm part of, right now we're serving all those levels. We're actually the leaders in this process here, pushing our politicians, discussing things with certain entities like 2 antitrust lawyers, remember, the top 2 in the United States. So we're actually leading this process, and we believe that the way the process is going now, it should have went before the conditional relocation vote. Now it's going to take a little longer, but we ultimately are pushing the right buttons. We have some interesting tasks ahead of us, and as we uncover those tasks, we will reveal that information to you guys. So sometimes we don't give you everything. It's because there's a process going on. But as we obtain these benchmarks, we're going to reveal that process to you. But overall, the process is cleaning up the NFL, cleaning up the Oakland Raiders and the identity, knowing that it's here, and cleaning up the politics here as well. So the Forever Oakland movement right now is addressing all those entities with a strong core of people. Zenny's part of that. My lovely Monica Lynn's part of that. Boss Man's part of that. Kook Schneid's part of that. We have civil supporters. Hey, Paul, I see you, Paul, in the chat room. We see all your supporters. The champ was in there just a second ago. Shaman Ottoman Williams was in there right now. So this process, even though we don't hear about everything outwardly, it's going full speed ahead, my people. And like I said, ultimately make Oakland better forever. To clean this whole mess up, this is what it's going to take for us so future generations can have that pride and keep that identity here in Oakland, California.
Ms. Zeitgeist, you asked a question. You asked if gambling and not the emergence of online gambling would have impact on the stadium. And the answer is yes, but. And the but is encapsulated in the fact that the Raiders are trying to get this stadium off the ground and finished by 2020 because they don't want it to be negatively impacted by a feared strike, player strike. If it goes into 2021 beyond and we have a player strike, it basically means a collapse in the ability of the Raiders to attract all of its sponsorships necessary to pay for the stadium and for the loan structure. Because if you have a strike in 2021, or 2020, excuse me, let's say that's the first year the stadium is open, but it's not used for football, and so because there's no one playing, and so because of that, there's no demand for not just tickets, but people to want to put their name in some kind of way to the stadium or any other activity of that type. It could also, the strike, extend into the next year. What the Raiders are trying to achieve is at least 1 year that they have revenue under their belt before the storm happens. But see, there are 2 storms. There's not just the possibility of player strike, there's also the very real occurrence of an economic downturn. And right now, the banks are sending early signals that the economy at some point is going to slow down. That's going to impact PSL sales. That will impact the ability of the Raiders to pay for the enormous number of costs that are being attached to this planned facility. Okay, so we have to understand that this thing can collapse. There are a number of reasons more it can collapse than not, and the city should be in place to get to be ready. Which brings me to this next question. Griz, does Forever Oakland support political candidates? We have an election season coming up. How do you guys want to approach that? Or do you?
Yeah, no. And here's the interesting thing is we have steps. We have strategic steps we're taking right now. And one of those strategic steps is who we're going to support to fill in as mayor, who we're going to support to potentially fill in as a city council, etc. So we do have identifiable entities, a couple of them, not just one. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to start identifying them within weeks to come. We're not going to identify them right now just because we're currently working with the people who are currently in place to assist getting behind us. And part of what we're doing, though, is we're reminding them that the recipe we have for this current location, recouping losses, bond debt, the whole nine thing, this is the ultimate recipe you can't say no to. And if you support it, we're going to support you. If you don't support it,
let me throw this in real quick. Hey, Paul Ferreira, I'm not asleep. What's going on is the chat is right here, okay, in the computer, and so I'm looking down at the chat. So Paul Ferreira, folks, thinks I need coffee. No, I don't need coffee. I love coffee, but maybe I'd get some. But the whole point is that the reason why you see me looking down like that is because I'm looking at the chat. That's what's going on. I got the chat here. I have the disembodied voice of Godfather in this box right here. Not to mention, I got him in this box over here, okay? And next time we have to work on getting him out of the box and back into the video living. But I digress. So, get the shirt.
As I was saying, so we do have certain, we have identifiable entities that we're not going to name right now because we're working on that as a project. We will reveal as we get closer and closer to obtaining benchmarks. So remember, folks, we have committees we've created. One's a political committee. To get this whole thing done isn't just being a football fan. That I think that between what we've been doing for years and then show you just that there's a certain professionalism and a lot of work that's going into what we're doing. To get this done, we're having to deal with the National Football League. We have a committee for that. To get this done, we have to deal with the Oakland Raiders. To get this done, we have to deal with the top two antitrust lawyers in the United States, and Jim Quinn and Eric Hofstadt. And to get this done, we have to deal with the city lawyers. We have to deal with the league council of the county. We have to deal with the league council of the JPA. And we have to deal with these politicians. So to answer your question, we will be revealing who we want to start pushing to be taken off the spots as we hit certain benchmarks.
Okay, so by the way, there's calls for Bouse for Mayor. I'm going to put that on Bouse for Mayor. Yes, actually, second that, or Bouse for Mayor. Now, Barry Lee asked a question regarding celebrities. Has there been any effort to engage celebrities? How's that going?
Oh yeah, we have a huge effort. This is, and I'll remind you, Barry Lee, and anybody else. It's amazing. I don't know if amazing is the right word, but what?
It sounds good. Go with it. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, hold on.
You want to say amaze balls? Like, you want to say that like, what's her name? Aubrey Plaza says amaze balls. Aubrey Plaza's an actress, folks. She's in this, she always does these crazy comedy movies. And she has this kind of twisted sense of humor on screen. I don't know. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. I was telling you.
What was the question again? I was on the roll and I got interruption.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Barry Lee asked about celebrities, and you said yes, and then there was some sort of.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, what we discovered barely this far, is there's a lot of people out there that love the Raiders to stay, and unfortunately, when that conditional relocation bill went down, a lot of people gave up. A lot of people gave up hope. A lot of people gave up interest, and they forgot what this identity is built on. So what we're doing is we're reminding them that this process not only has stopped, and it hasn't gone away, it's getting a groundswell. So we're offering opportunities for celebrities or anybody, regardless if you're a celebrity or a millionaire or an average worker, to jump in and support us. And what it takes, there's that old saying that there's 98% of the population and there's the 2%ers. And the 2%ers are the ground shakers. They move mountains. And right now, we believe we're on a mission from God. We believe we're the chosen ones. And it's going to take us to hit these certain benchmarks. Once we do, these other entities will jump in. It's unfortunate. That's what it's going to take. But that's the reality of the situation. We've accepted that reality, and we're moving forward. So the celebrities are us getting these other entities involved.
Now, also, hey, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the Raiders, because on the field, I have to make this remark. And I want to point out something. I did a little figuring, okay? And Rick Rice says, Zenny's a celebrity, that's all we need. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You guys make it happen. But do you realize, folks, that the Raiders, I said this at the start while we were waiting for the Godfather, and I'll say it again. The Raiders have not topped Godfather 300 yards in total offense in any one game preseason. Not one. Not one. And I think that's a bad sign for the regular season, save for one fact. The Raiders do not game plan. Coach Del Rio said this a couple of years ago. They don't game plan during preseason. So how do we evaluate this, Godfather? I mean, do we panic? You know, we have this sucky defense. Like, what do we do?
I mean, I'm going to tell you straight up, as everyone knows right now, I'm an X and O's kind of guy.
Yes, you are. That's why I called you out, because you know X's and O's really well.
Yeah, and I love Oakland Raiders football, even though I'm on the other side of things right now, not caring about what happens with the team because of our citizen-driven initiative. But I'll give you my 2 cents anyway. Mm-hmm. As numerous people have pointed out, you're talking defensively, a concern with the defense, correct?
I'm concerned with well, here's what I'm concerned with. It's a bit more complicated than that. I'm concerned that the offensive production is not at a commensurate level to compensate for the defense's weaknesses against primarily the pass rush and the run.
My first response to that now, since I understand the question, is first, it's preseason.
I know, but structurally that means
something. I'll give you my opinion. I'll let you finish yours. You've asked my opinion. I'm just going to try and tell you something. I saw tidbits of this last game. This team, especially if I was still in X and O mode, but my eyes are wide open, is going to be super explosive offensively. Mm-hmm. They're going to be more explosive than they were last year. That's a fact. So to see what they did in the preseason to compensate the defense, the only pattern I see is the defense may be very weak because they didn't address the middle of the field like they should have the last couple of years. So I didn't really correlate. I see where you're going with this, but I didn't correlate. The offense did more in the preseason to compensate for the defense. That God will say this, because they didn't address defense when it comes to regular season, the offense will have to overcompensate for this defense, just because I think that they didn't get the middle linebacker, they didn't get the interior D-line initiative, the secondary is still a little weak. We will see how they get in the regular season, but the offense clearly will have to overcompensate. To judge it if they're capable of it or not from what I saw in the preseason, I'm not going to judge that. I do believe they'll be more explosive, but they're going to definitely have to outscore opponents to win games.
I'm going to judge it mainly because of two reasons. First of all, the pass rush issue I talked about. I didn't see the Cowboys game, so I didn't evaluate the tape. So I'm going to be honest with you, but I did look at the numbers, and I compared them with past games. I thought, hey, wait a minute. And you can say, why did I miss the game? Because Mercedes-Benz Stadium was open to the here, and it's a big deal. It is a gorgeous $1.5 billion facility that Oakland can build. It's innovative. It has this 8-petal roof design. It has a bar that is as long as a football field. That's right, 100 yards long. And while Oakland has diddled around, I'm just being blunt, Atlanta has built 2 stadiums and opened both of those stadiums this year. So while Oakland argues, and then we have these places where you have these, nutsos, fighting and all this over politics and all this stuff and having all these raids and rallies and all this, Atlanta has built 2 stadiums and then established new movie studios and taken a lot of California's movie jobs. So I don't know how to give everybody a wake-up call other than to say Oakland needs to get its act together, okay? And we have to stop blanking around and allowing elected officials to blank around, and we have to rediscover what it means to build things. We don't do that. All right?
You just shifted gears from talking about offense and defense to how Oakland has to get together. So I didn't see that cross jump. But I'm listening to you.
But Griz, what do we say when that happens? But I digress. Get the T-shirt. Get the T-shirt. He forgot.
So basically, what you're discussing right now, from what I heard, from asking the question about you didn't believe the offense showed enough to overcompensate in the preseason.
I was getting back to that.
The city of Atlanta are doing things to promote itself with the leadership they have, and you went to the Oakland leadership isn't doing enough to promote itself.
No, it's not promote. No. You're hearing it not correctly. What I'm talking about are building buildings, not promoting yourself. Building structures, understanding the financing, understanding how to do it without public money, understanding the need for all. Hold on a second. I'm not done. I am not done. I'm mad about this. I'm mad about this, okay? Understanding what it means to build buildings, bring contractors in, get jobs for people who are cooks, workers, seamstresses, janitors, all kinds of stuff like that, all right? That's what I'm talking about. We're freaking around and all this stuff. And yeah, I got mad.
What you're saying right now, though, what you're saying is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Part of our commitment is to address problems locally, as we're addressing problems in the NFL, as we're addressing problems in Oakland Raiders. So our leadership here can generate things that are a growth process. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying exactly what I said, man. I did not mince words. And the reason why I said it that way is, look, my background's in urban planning. And yeah, I got pissed off about it in the middle of thinking about it. And the Raiders offense, you have to have a great stadium to play in to be able to talk about offense and everything else. And I got once again mad when I thought about Mercedes-Benz Dome, which is a beautiful facility. And, why we don't have something there, and the current administration is doing nothing to give us a vision for how we can not just retain our sports teams, but do you realize, Godfather, I want you to pay attention to this. I want you to think about this. I want you to zero in on what I'm saying. We have not had a convention center expansion since we built our convention center in 1988 at 150,000 square feet. Do you realize that in order to house the NFL experience, we have to have a 900,000 square foot room space, and we don't have one, and yet we can build one we never have? All right? These are the kind of things that people should be so mad that they're marching down City Hall. That's what it means to do a real protest, okay? Our priorities are freaking upside down. I mean, there should be 5. You know what? No, hold on. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you haven't let me finish this, okay? If our priorities were in the right place, Godfather, Forever Oakland would be 90 times larger than it is, and you and I both know it. All right, everybody would be storming the gates, keeping the Raiders in Oakland. Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
here.
But that's not a reflection of Forever Oakland. That's not a reflection of Forever Oakland. So I disagree.
No, it's not a reflection of you guys in a bad way. But what I'm saying is that the bandwagon effect isn't there, regardless of where you turn. It's how Oakland has changed. We talked about this since last night with LSU. No, here's my point. We talked about this last night with Elihu, okay? Oakland has become Berkeley. We have elected officials that are more concerned with, acting like they're senators than fixing things. All right? And we have to be the breakwater against this crap. That's the only way we're going to turn this around. We're on the right track, yeah. Okay? All right? But my point is all I'm saying.
Before you got into this, your wild witness, I shared with you, so I'll repeat it again. We have a committee that has to address these issues with our politicians. Your leadership of any governmental body or of any region deals with your politicians or lack of. So we have identified all you're doing right now is getting emotional and getting riled up, and you're justifying it, is what I already stated.
Yes.
You're saying your own way, which is this. We are addressing the NFL, we're addressing the Oakland Raiders, because there's oil spills in both, and we're addressing the leadership of our politicians for the many various reasons that we've already covered, and for great reason you're covering right now. So you're confirming what I said. Continue.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Without fail. Now,
and this is one last thing I'll say, and I love the way how you and I interact because we get the juices going.
Yeah.
This is the reason why, and this is not just the leadership, okay? But the Raiders not being here is part on both sides. I want to remind people, it's the politicians who don't get motivated, and it's the Oakland Raiders who did negotiate in bad faith. So when we're talking specifically the Oakland Raiders, we're not talking convention centers, we're not talking how the local municipalities haven't done anything to attract. There's a threefold problem with this conditional relocation: the NFL and what Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft want in Vegas, which they don't care about our culture. Mark Davis, who sold his soul, and I'm one who he's nice to, but still sold his soul because I talked to him, and that's my opinion. Number three, we have to clear this whole oil spill up with these politicians. So we have a huge task on hand, and that's why we say we're the chosen ones right now, on a mission from God, because what we're trying to undertake is, like, we reach out to these celebrities, and there are some who said from Oakland, and then once the relocation process went through, they bailed out, man. They got flaky. They showed the true colors. Well, we'll support Vegas. There's a lot of people who have not stood up outside of Forever Oakland, and some of our supporters. So we realize that. We identify that. We kind of wish that the politicians we have now were during an era when you were more involved, who are more sports and business savvy. But the reality of the fact is, we've identified how deeply rooted the problems are, and we still believe, because of how we've organized and how we're creating a recipe of success for not with the true best lawyers and guys, we rescue people. Something that needs all the issues of homeless, of violence, of politicians not putting money in the districts but keeping their pockets. We have a recipe that they can rally around and help bring light finally to Oakland. That's what we're for, and it will work. We have to push the right buttons with these politicians, and that's what we're pushing for. That's why we're chosen ones. But Zenny, your emphasis and motion on what you're discussing, I totally 120% agree.
I want to say welcome to those who just joined us. This is the Godfather Griz Monday show, Forever Oakland, talking about the Oakland Raiders' effort to retain the Raiders in Oakland and challenge the Las Vegas relocation. We're also talking about the Raiders on the field, and I did make a comment about the offense, and then I went to this major league digression. Get the t-shirt. You can get it at zenny62.com, okay? I'm going to get that sponsored.
That's the off the walls. Keep going.
Thank you. I'm off four walls tonight, okay? Yeah, I am off four walls tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm off four walls tonight. But anyway, my point is this, that the offense cannot carry the weight of this weak defense. And a great offense is such that you can not game plan, but your basic plays have enough adjustments in them, and your fundamentals are sound enough so that you can score when you can move the ball when you need to. You don't have to do your math. All your math helps, and your game preparation from a standpoint of analytics in order to have any hope of success. You should have your base set of plays such that it can carry you through a season and produce great dividends. And my argument is the Raiders don't have that. That's my point. The Raiders have an offense
Yeah, no, no, no.
that's a collection of plays.
To me, I'm not disagreeing. All I know is this: the offense, being that if I'm fully back in X and O's, because that's part of my DNA,
Yep.
the offense will be more explosive this year. They will be. Defensively, though,
I don't doubt that.
Defensively, not going to be. Well, it doesn't seem like they will be. We'll see how they rise up. But what people have to realize too is the competition's gotten better too.
Right, but here's my question.
I don't know if they're going to have the same record as a year ago, because when you get down to the trenches and you get down into winter and you get down to playoffs, you have to have a subpar defense. You can be the most explosive offense in the world, but you have to have defense that rises up. So we'll see how that whole thing pans out.
Crawford 371 says that Teddy Ruxpin. Do you have a Teddy Ruxpin dog, Godfather? Crawford 371 says that Teddy Ruxpin could dissect the Raiders' defense, but then Adonis point out defense scored this Saturday, and there is some, but. Okay, Godfather, you turned silent. What were you going to say? Godfather?
No. I was just, I'm in a very good flow right now. One of your chat members, Raider Flea.
Yeah.
I can see the chat. I'm looking at this. He want to ask me about De La Fuente running from air?
That's right. Ignacio De La Fuente, I heard it from not so little birdie, but a birdie, is going to run for mayor. And we're going to find out more in October about this. But yeah, that's what I heard. And so I put it out there.
So here's my opinion from my experience in the past with assisting get an old PSL abolished when the Raiders first moved back in 1985. They created a PSL that was a 10-year PSL from 95 to 2005, and they also had a lease agreement for 15 years from 95 to 2010. So originally, the plan was a 10-year PSL, which, number one, wasn't run by the team. Number two, was run by a shell company between the team and Oakland called Oakland Football Marketing Association. Right. They're the ones that sold the seats, and between them and the Oakland Raiders, there was a lot of problems in how the seats were sold. There were lawsuits forming. There were blackouts going on because they weren't selling out 2 hours before the game. So at that time, when that 10-year lease for the PSL, which should have been a lifetime, when you have a PSL, asking like 25, 30 years, but this is an experience that we had to learn the hard way from. At the end of that 10-year PSL lease, about 2003-ish, the 66 model actually got very actively involved with informing the JP at the time, where that's where Ignacio and I met each other back then.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of positively creating a forum to abolish that thing. Because the 5-year plan from 2005 to 2010 was they're going to still sell a 5-year PSL at 75% the cost. Right. It wasn't working. People weren't liking it. So we started attending these meetings. We started having media blitzes. We started going to different locations to discuss these events. And in that effort, we assisted in the process of being abolished. And it started when that remaining 5 years, they went from cutting out the PSL to doing season tickets, and the Raiders, as a football team, were selling their seats as it should have been. So that's where Ignacio De Fuente and myself started our relationship. There's a lot of things I can share that I have agreements or disagreements with, but what I will say is this. He had the inner strength about him, that's for sure.
Yep.
And to say, and what he will win over is, he'll win over, like the district I live in District 5, which is New Oak Gallows District. Mm-hmm. He'll win a lot of those folks over because there's a heavy Latino population throughout the East Oakland. The mayor herself, she is going to be upset by somebody. Is it De La Fuente? Potentially. Is it some other people that we're going to identify with soon? Because we have some other people we're thinking about. So it's very interesting that he's going to have a much better shot of winning that thing than just Liberty. I'll leave it at that.
I do know that right now there is this scenario. Hey, folks, would appreciate your invest because right now I only got Coup Snipe investing, and he's consistent. So even if it's $2 and you're consistent or whatever, please invest. It really goes a long way here. But I digress, sort of.
Coup Snipe is consistent with everything he does.
He is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Now, we face the scenario where the current mayor, Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, yes, my god sister, faces the specter of being challenged by a person that, in Ignacio Del Fuente, she was chief of staff to, and Peggy Moore, a person that was chief of staff to her. How do you like that? I mean, what does it say when you have a situation where two people that you had such a close relationship with are at least in conversation to run against you for mayor, and someone asked me if I'm still considering it? You know, I am all but, maybe we'll see how things go. But my whole point is that my first responsibility is to my mom, and so that overshadows everything. And being here and keeping her company overshadows everything. Now, hey, look, if things change such that I can do a back and forth again, great. You know, I'm working on it. Not getting much cooperation from certain folks out there who said they're going to come through, but that's another story. I'm just being blunt because I'm feeling my oats tonight and I'm loving this show. But, and as you know, I'm vlogging. And vloggers do what? Vloggers talk to the world. Vloggers say anything. Someone out there asked me what the key to vlogging was. This is a mild digression, a short one. I will tell you, it's not being not being afraid to speak your mind. If when your heart's in the right place, you can go anywhere with your thoughts. Now, and not only that, you know, it's my gift to the Godfather, who's been a great friend to me, as has been a Forever Oakland, my family. We haven't done the burger thing yet, Godfather. We need to plan that. And of course, Godfather's retort might be...
We're going to be hearing Marcellus. Is Marcellus in the chair tonight?
Marcellus, are you around? Marcellus. You know what Marcellus reminds me of? Remember, you ever see Pulp Fiction? Remember Pulp Fiction?
Oh, love the movie.
Yeah, Marcellus. Marcellus.
So is this Marcellus remind you of that Marcellus, the gangster, is that what you're saying?
Well, I haven't seen him in person. I mean, that wouldn't be a... Look, how bad would it be to be compared with Ving Rhames, one of the great actors of our generation, right? Who played, you know, Marcellus.
I mean, so I've never met Marcellus personally. I know he's a good friend of Boss. Yeah. So I haven't met him personally. I'm just waiting for him and myself and you to arrange having a show.
That sounds good. Hey,
at his place and to introduce the Zenny Burger.
Hey, Boss, do you know Marcellus? Does Marcellus look like the Marcellus in Pulp Fiction at all? Can we build a storyline around that? Boss is mad that I suggested he be the next mayor of Oakland. See, Boss wants to talk it, but he doesn't want you to put him in the seat. Yeah. To which he says, I am not rooting for the Raiders while lame duck status is going on. Okay, fine. We know that. But I'm talking about the other question. Harry Flores says, Godfather.
I want to share something with you.
Here's a question. Harry Flores says, Godfather.
I just want to remind folks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Godfather, what are your thoughts regarding Dan Fouts agreeing that the Chargers' decision to abandon San Diego for Los Angeles was a mistake? What are your thoughts on that?
To ban San Diego from Los Angeles is a mistake.
Yeah.
The NFL, a lot of what they're doing is a mistake.
Yeah.
And what you guys, what the world's seeing is their mentality, their intelligence level. Mm-hmm. I'm sadly disappointed. I am that the fact that these elite folks who have, they're billionaires, they got top-notch lawyers, have been making bad decisions. And the only thing I'm going to derive it from is because they make these kind of like people make deals for their own pockets. Own interest of the majority. It's not the interest of the culture of these cultures, not the interest of the fans that built the NFL. It's the interest of their own pockets and their perverted thought processes of what they want to do. And what's happening is it's showing its hand right now. It's showing there's fires around the NFL. There's entities that they're trying to settle out with court with because they don't want to go to trial with it. So to answer that gentleman's question, it's a huge mistake. It's a big mistake. Everything they're doing right now, in my opinion, is a big mistake. And I love football. I was born and raised Oakland Raider here in the East Bay. I was born and raised the sport of football. I love the purity of it. But the mentality of these owners, just like you compared, Zenny, back in your day when you're more involved with local politics here, and those politicians were more business and sports savvy, and now their ability to do things has lowered. Their intelligence level has lowered greatly in making Oakland better. I feel the same way with these owners, even though they got more money. Mm-hmm. And so there's these agreements with them, and it deals with greed. And guess what? It doesn't work.
Now, Barry Lee says, Rick Rice says, I know what you're saying, Henry Flores, but it's worth to make a mistake from football to beat our defense this year. And, okay, so we've got Baus says he knows Marcellus. He knows him well, and he doesn't look like the Marcellus in Pulp Fiction. Alex Perez says, we're going to squash the Patriots and knock them down the block, knock down the wall that the Steelers built. And Henry, and we got the Godfather question out of the way from Henry Flores. And Henry Flores says, Rick Rice, you are counting that our opposing offenses play mistake-free football against us in our defense. Karen Christensen offers, she says, I wonder if possibly losing all three teams is one of the things that could keep her from winning. Well, Karen, I think, I'll put it this way. Yes, because it spells an inability. It's not just the three teams. It's also Uber pulling back from Oakland, because we have other structures that are going up as I speak downtown, and downtown is being remade slowly. But look, Uber having its headquarters in Oakland was a big deal, and not just the comment, Uber is coming to Oakland, right? And how majestic that sounds, aside from the other details. But the details were completely tearing apart 19th Street BART, turning it inside out, and quite literally mating it with the Sears building. I don't know if anyone has seen the artist renditions for what's planned there, but oh my God. So now all of a sudden Uber's, considering not bringing its headquarters to Oakland at all, and possibly selling the building. So all of that, from an image standpoint, points downward rather than upward for Oakland. And in the middle of this, you can't be what Mayor Schaaf is right now, in a sense, riding a wave. What do I mean by that? She's doing what Jerry Brown did. Jerry had the 10K initiative, but that was developers. But he basically rode a wave of personal popularity and celebrity for his first term. In the second term, it allowed him to install the 10K plan. And what is 10K? 10K was a plan to put 10,000 housing units downtown. And largely it worked. We did get that. But Libby, who worked for Jerry Brown, copies a lot of her approach from Jerry, but there's one major problem. Libby is not a celebrity, okay? She's built her celebrity through the mayor's office, but she didn't have a celebrity base prior to that. And a lot of what Jerry did as mayor, only he could do because of his celebrity. For example, let me give you an example. Jerry made a comment in 1999, 98, that he was intent on destroying Oakland's, quote, black power base, unquote. And a lot of people went up in arms with that comment. Can you imagine Mayor Schaaf making that comment today with this climate? Of course not. But Jerry got away with it then, among other things, for his celebrity. So my point is this, okay?
What's your point?
My point basically is that I got on a major third. That's called a fourth dimension digression. There's the first dimension, the third, right? The fourth. Right. Right. Whereas my friend Charlotte used to say it's A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3 with me. You get the A subs, okay? But I digress. My point simply is that Mayor Schaaf is going to have a really, really tough time, because she's not Jerry Brown, and because she doesn't get that you have to build things. Every politician wants some thing that's up there that says, I got this job for you, right? That's what stadiums show. Stadiums say, hey, look, you know what? I built this for you. You know? And it doesn't have that. Yeah, Godfather.
So in lieu of what you're saying, and I think you described it very well. And that's the nice thing. I think that people realize the education you get from your forum, because you have a very good background in Oakland politics.
Oh, thank you.
I will add to what Zane said. I will add that Libby, in my opinion, and I just want to stress that I can tell you my opinion about someone's qualification. I don't need to slander them. I'll tell you my opinion to the qualification of if they're good at what they do, what their strengths and weaknesses are. In my opinion, from dealing with some former politicians who know Larry Ellison, who know Mark Davis, who know the current people that have been on the county and the city for years, have made it clear to me, Jerry Brown still runs Oakland. And Jerry Brown, his endorsement is what got Libby toward the end of that 2014 campaign.
That's correct.
In office as a Jerry Brown protege.
That's right.
So she does not, and she's a nice person to me too, but she does not have the best interest of the culture of Oakland at hand. She's more concerned with Highway 13 and above. She should have never been mayor. As a matter of fact, I remember all the candidates that always running for it, like 17 or 20 candidates, that last 2 months before that vote, she wasn't even mentioned. It was like the last month. I don't know exactly when that dynamic was. She catapulted up because of Jerry Brown. He, some way, somehow, got her in office, and the rumor is he still runs Oakland. And that's why that gentrification mentality.
Right. I want to add something to that, but
she's carried that over.
But I want to.
Another thing too. She's not sports savvy. She does not know how to negotiate a sports deal. She should never have been lead negotiator with trying to negotiate with the NFL.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, first of all, when Libby started off, she had a tag made in Oakland because she was born in Oakland, and what the beauty of her campaign was that it was centered on paying attention to what made Oakland culture, MC Hammer and so on. What happened was that Libby became mayor right at the time our affordable housing crisis started. It was already developing, it was just got worse. And Libby didn't understand how, and still doesn't really exhibit that she understands how, to pull the levers. And this is also true for the rest of the city council, except for Larry Reed and Desley Brooks. Pull the levers, and I'm being honest here because Larry Reed understands it. Maybe Larry will run for mayor, I don't know. Pull the levers to activate redevelopment again, which the governor signed back into law, so that we can have double the affordable housing fund that we had before. Or use it so that we can actually produce a package. Actually, which what we did with Fortress, which I thought worked financially, except Eric Grubman came in and kind of threw a monkey wrench into things, which I'll explain in a second. But use those tools to really build the city. Libby didn't realize that she was in this crisis and then reacted too late. And it was her downfall. So now she's associated, because of the affordable housing problem, with the idea that she's only above Highway 13, whereas my 30-year relationship with Libby has been, for example, we tried to get Don Smith elected as on the school board. We walked the precincts on the flatlands. We've had a lot of good times together, a lot of fun in the flatlands in politics, and that's where I think of Libby from, in that area, as a lawyer. Okay, but when she became mayor, this crisis of affordable housing hit like a ton of bricks, and it caught her by surprise, and it caught her quite literally flat-footed, and she has not recovered. But I'm telling you, and in all that, I think also something else that happened with Libby is that Libby got into office. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and she forgot the number one axiom: keep your friends close. Forget about the enemies closer thing. Just keep your friends close, your real friends. Libby got in office and tried to make friends of people who weren't her friends prior to being mayor, and that was also her downfall. So that's where we are, with that right now. I just want to put that.
And see, that's another perspective. All I'm saying is she should never been mayor, and unfortunately, there's other people who can be in their positions as well who've been there for a long time. So So, but what the reality is the political landscape here, the Oakland Raiders and NFL, and I'm iterating, combined is a process that the citizen-driven initiative. See, it's not just about football for us. It's about identity. It's about lifestyle. It's about all the different cultures that come together in peace under that Oakland Raider umbrella. Mm-hmm. It's how we're raised. It's how we think. So it's not just a football game. It's a climate. It's a way of life. It's how we teach our kids. And that's why we realize that needs to stay here and also be built upon in these spills that have taken place with the NFL. One example is how they're handling things and what they're trying to do with landing in Vegas so they can have football there, or maybe a Super Bowl, and it may not be the Oakland Raiders. But right now, that's the team that allowed to go down there for their own perverted purposes in dealing with the way the Raiders are running, with an owner who, like I said, he could be the nicest guy in the world to me, but he doesn't carry the Oakland Raider DNA like we do. And then we're dealing with a political landscape that really needs cleaning up, like these streets and potholes here in Oakland. So we're addressing the whole process right now. And that's not easy to do, but ultimately the recipe we're providing, that we're offering, is going to be such a great positive upswing to not just help pay off some losses, not just help keep our identity here. It's going to open up a lot of doors now. And that's why we're pushing this whole citizen-driven initiative very strong to make Oakland better forever.
Oh, hey, Barry, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, Boss is right. I know what, thanks, Barry Lee, but I know exactly what he's talking about. And I referred to the article earlier in our conversation talking about Las Vegas Sun's article, which I said is incomplete because it did not report the full extent to which, in fact, you know what? I'll do it. I'll leave it to me to write the definitive article or blog post, as I prefer, in video, that really paints the picture of where Jerry Jones is involved here, because Adam got only half the equation right. In fact, he only got half the equation. He didn't get the whole equation. The Dallas Cowboys, let me break it down to you very simply, folks. The Dallas Cowboys are part owner in Legends Hospitality, which handles luxury suites and sells luxury suites. That's going to be their charge at the Las Vegas Stadium, should it be built. Then Legends also, then Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys also own Construction Sports and Leadership, which does surveys and economic analysis for sports. They were heavily involved with the Raiders and Majestic and Las Vegas Sands last year. They did the ticket survey. They did a stadium fiscal stress test along with Applied Economics and Jeremy Arguello, who were involved. Construction Sports and Leisure is owned by the Cowboys. So you've got the Cowboys involved in two fronts. What's called the pre-development phase with CSL, and then the post-opening phase with the sale of the luxury suites. That is where Jerry Jones has had a hand in this from day one. And there may be other ways, too, that, well, there's only so many ways you can be involved in a stadium. Stadium is not really a complicated deal, okay? But luxury boxes, big deal. Selling luxury boxes, big deal. Concessions, don't know that he's involved in the concessions, but I'll check. So there you go.
That's right. Hey, by the way,
how you doing on time?
Do you have your Facebook open?
Let's see. I do, because I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask is I believe Monica Lynn tagged you.
Oh, she did. Okay. Am I to go there right now and show people something on visual? Hello? Uh-oh. I think I just lost Griz. No, Griz is there. I'm not hearing him. Now, okay, Griz, did I lose you? Oh, Griz, collection lost. Let me get him back here. And I think, let's see. And one moment, please, folks. One moment, please. I'm going to get Griz back. And Griz probably thought, yeah, see, there he is. Okay. So, and, hey, wait a minute. We got the visual, Griz. Oh, we got the visual. He froze. He froze. Ah! Oh, man. Check it out. I think Griz is going to try the visual part, but it didn't work. Call back, Griz. Well, I'll call you back. Hold on a second. I'll call you back. Okay? Let me try that again. Sorry about that, folks. Hold on a second. Griz back again. There we go. So, we're doing just voice. We're doing just fine. We have a bad connection. I don't know what that's about. Griz, you there? Are we there? Hello, Griz. Griz. Griz going once. Griz going twice. Griz is active. Let's see here. I'll call him again. He was up. See, the camera's working, right? He's trying to call me. And that green light is on. That wonderful green light. Hey, so while we're getting Griz back. Oh, you got your back.
Sorry about.
That's okay. Stuff happens. You're back. Stuff happens. You're back.
Am I in the speaker still?
You are in speaker still, yeah. Uh-huh.
So that's the speaker I have to sign eventually, right?
Say again, please?
I'll have to sign that speaker eventually.
You will have to sign, yeah. The speaker he's talking about, folks, viewers on YouTube, is this speaker. This is...
So we're able to pull up that page that Monica Lynn tagged you in.
This is the disembodied voice of Godfather Griz right here, okay?
Omnipresent, baby. Ever since that eclipse, omnipresent.
Either that or you know what, he is only reduced to a brain. You ever see The Fly with Jeff Goldblum? This is like The Fly 4. This is what happens. I'm just kidding.
Hey, whatever works. So did you have a chance? Did you have a chance to pull up that Facebook page? Is it in front of you by any chance?
I didn't. I was too busy trying to get you back. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. Basically, Monica Lynn tagged you right before the show. Ooh. And then I don't know how much tagged you, so I hope you didn't have to dig much, but there's these wine glasses she's selling. It's a 6'6" bottle for Oakland. And we're going to do some hustling with it. And I also want to remind people, 2 weeks from today is when we're going to, next week, we're going to touch on the auction items that got accumulated over the last 2 months. We're going to touch on them, give the prices. And then 2 weeks from today is we're going to auction them off for the GoFundMe account. Awesome. But along those lines, Monica Lynn herself created, one of her distributors created Forever Oakland and 66 malt wine glasses. They are awesome. And if I remember correctly, they're $20 a piece. But if you buy them in a pair, they're $35. So I just wanted to put it out there. If you could display that, great. And for people who have an interest, they contact Monica Lynn on Facebook. And you hit her up on personal message, Monica Lynn on Facebook. You hit her up on personal message.
Everybody see that?
And then she'll...
These are the glasses that he's talking about. See that? Check them out. They look nice. See that?
Do they really? Good.
Yeah, they look good. Or as Freddie Prinze used to say, looking good.
Hey.
Remember that show?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when she posted today,
that goes way back. Okay.
The first comment was, "They look forever great, forever looking great."
Looking good. I still have that down.
My people.
I still have that down.
So for those who are on Facebook, if you decide you want to purchase those glasses, those are first of the kind. She has limited supply. You go to Monica Lynn on Facebook, hit her on personal message. She has a PayPal. And like I said, per glass is $20, or if you're buying the pair, it's $35. They're awesome.
Awesome, nice. Don't forget to invest.
And then lastly, are we having investors continue to invest in the Zenny Show? Are we having investors buy the But I Digress t-shirt going on tonight? How's that coming?
When are we going to do this rev share that I was talking about? So I was like, hey, we got, trying to build up there. I will start this right here, folks, okay? I'll up the ante. If you invest right now I will give you double shares. We did that before. For example, Coos Knight put in 20. He'll get 40. He'll get the equivalent of $40 a share. $40 worth of shares. If you put in 2, you get the equivalent of $4. If you put in 10, you get the equivalent of $10 shares. Okay, so that's my pitch to you right now for the remainder, the duration of this program. The double share policy is in act right now, so go forth and invest. And more coming and more products coming, and at some point we're going to be able to fuse Zenny 62 Media and Forever Oakland and have that product that you get that has that saying that you want to have on your person that causes you to remember this for the rest of your natural born life. That's the idea.
And this is the fourth version, right? The fourth. Are we in the fifth dimension now? What's going on?
No, we're in the 10th, man. Actually, you know what? Technically,
that's Christ consciousness. Is it Christ consciousness, the 9th dimension, or is it the 10th dimension?
We're in the 15th dimension of digression. I have taken you.
Where
no one.
There's a new shirt idea.
That's right.
15th dimension of the digression.
Thank you, Monica.
Hey!
Thank you, Monica. Investor. She joins the ranks.
Look at the shoes like those volume waves.
Woohoo! All right,
show those volume waves coming off of you with your arms up, and it says 15th dimension of digression.
That's right, the 15th dimension of digression. Folks, you have to understand, I'm a fan of. Have you ever played Griz? Have you ever played tridimensional chess?
I have not. That's your thing, Mr. Fifth Dimension Digression. That's not my thing.
Star Trek. Live long and prosper. It's from Star Trek. Tridimensional chess. You've got multi-dimensional levels. You move from level to level, all right? That's what I'm talking about. That's many different dimensions. That's how you think about politics, too. Many different dimensions, okay? Many different approaches. Many different messages. Now, you could argue that our current president is doing that, but it's screwing us up in the process, and it's making us forget about the whole Russia thing, some of us. I don't forget for a day, but I digress. Now, I just hit the 16th dimension of digression. Now let me come back to home one. For those of you who think I'm absolutely nuts, this is proof that you're somewhat correct. Anyway, now...
Hey, I've got 10 minutes more of digression.
All right.
So let me, if we can, let's just bring our people up to speed. And tonight's show is awesome again. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Especially the political climate. Yeah, the political climate. When our juices get going, man, and light bulbs turn on, 15th dimension digression, another shirt idea for the Zenny 62 show.
Right.
This Wednesday, we are projected to be set up on the NFL's on the tailgate from 7 p.m. and on into game day Thursday. The game's at, I believe, 7:05-ish.
That's right.
So for any of you in town, basically, when it's the last week of the preseason, NFL always has all the remaining games played by that Thursday, so it gives pretty much every team like a week and a half off, almost every team, a week and a half off. And we can't wait for the regular weekend schedule because the Wednesday through Thursday conflicts a lot of work schedules, but we still do our overnight preseason tailgate. So we'll be out there with some food, some drinks, TV, music. It's a beautiful ambiance. That is the Forever Oakland Autumn Wind Raiders. My body is Forever Oakland Autumn Wind Raiders. It is a staple of this community. It as a pillar in representing the greatest culture of people and fans, not just in Oakland, but in the region, Alameda County, Northern California. That's why we're so heavy with what we're doing. And it's on that territory where the base of these wonderful people who are creating these wonderful committees to address the NFL, to address the Oakland Raiders, to address the politicians. When you cross paths in Mount Valley, there are sheets there. You can sign up to become a volunteer to assist on these committees. There's exchanges that take place hands-on outside of like the Zenny show. And so it's just a great place to be. And after that weekend, obviously, or this upcoming week, they're going to be cutting into the three-man roster on Saturday. And then we have the Make Oakland Better Charity Festival, Thursday night, September 14th, a 3-night, 4-day tailgate, the only one in the NFL, with at least 4 charities, supporters, and sponsors set up with us. That first night's a media blitz, September 14th, on Ma Valley. The address is 559 66th Avenue, Oakland, California, 94621. We are in front of two businesses, a K upholstery business, a Sherwin Williams business. And what we'll start doing in the next 2 weeks is, like the picture that showed, he was tagging the wine glasses. We'll send some pictures of what Ma Valley looks like. So for those who haven't been there, you get a perfect visual of when you pull up to the 66th Avenue entrance, right across the street to your left is Ma Valley. It's awesome. So we're kicking off the Make Oakland Better Cherry Festival that Thursday night with the Media Blitz. And the following day on Friday is this upcoming very, very important approval of the JPA.
Right.
And a lot of our supporters are coming. That's at 8:30 a.m. at the Oracle, 7000 Coliseum Way, 8:30 a.m. Friday morning, September 15th. We're hoping Zenny 62 is in the house. That's going to be very heavy. There'll be live streams going on. And we got to push these municipalities to get behind our citizen-driven initiative. And once that's done, we're going to walk right back across the street, go to Ma Valley, and we're feeding everybody brunch. So exciting times next couple weeks, my people. Punch time for what we're doing. We are doing everything in our power to make Oakland better forever. So we appreciate you supporting the Zenny 62 show. We appreciate you visiting us on Facebook. You go to the Greg Jones Facebook page with the Only Forever Oakland logo. You go to Mob Charities Facebook. You go to Forever Oakland Facebook. And if you want those wine glasses, you go to Monica Lynn on Facebook. Hit her up in personal message. She'll show you how you can PayPal those. So we're excited. It's exciting times. And we're just honored for all of you that invest in Zenny 62. It's a forum like this. And if I repeat myself.
Uh-oh. You there? Uh-oh.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry.
Cool.
Hey,
Godfather, hey, do you have a page where I can post that in a blog so that people can know that itinerary, you know?
Yeah, I'll get that. If your show continues, you know what we'll do is we'll have that itinerary. I'll get that to you as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. So if I don't get it to you tonight, because I have it written up. Mm-hmm. We have that itinerary written up. If I don't get it to you tonight, I can get it to you next day or two because you're going to have shows. Mm-hmm. And if the right time happens and these other shows,
well, just give it to me and I'll put it in a blog post and it'll go scope like that. Just send it to me. I'll take care of it. Okay? Don't worry about the show thing. Yeah, I'll take care of it. All right.
Yeah, but we want to thank all your supporters because a lot of folks can't come on in.
Sure.
But they get touched by it through the Zenny 62 show. They get touched by our posts. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing is, can you hear me, Zenny?
Loud and clear now, yeah.
Yes, thank you. This is how people can be involved with this through social media. Mm-hmm. I'll get Zenny the links. I'll get them that itinerary so you can stay closely connected even if you're not present. But once again, Zenny, thank you for everything you do, man. Another light bulb, 15th dimension, digression, t-shirt idea. We got to get with Marcellus. Marcellus, if you're listening or tuning in, we got to start the show at your location. And next week, we're going to talk about the auction items we've accumulated in 2 months, the prices, and then 2 weeks from now, we're going to auction those bad boys off in the GoFundMe account. So, any last words, Zenny, before the Godfather leaves?
Hey, folks, stick around. There's 42 of you here. I want to talk to you some more. Godfather, thank you very, very much. Talk to you this week. Got some stuff I got to send to you, as you know. And I'll get at it. Definitely.
Hey, and we are Forever Oakland, only in Oakland. Have a great night, folks.
And thank you. And thank you for the investment, Corey Brown. Hey, folks, stick around. Now we can talk Raiders. A lot of you have been talking Raiders and the upcoming season and concerns. There was a throw that Derek Carr made to Mari Cooper. That was a great look off. He looked to the right, then came off back. That was not in the Raiders' approach over the past years of the Derek Carr regime. If that becomes, that look-off passing to the weak side becomes a normal part of their passing game, the Raider offense will be dangerous this year. And that's why I'm resting a lot of my criticism of the offense on the fact that the Raiders don't game plan during the preseason. And, you know, that's philosophically, well, if you're not going to game plan, I'll say it again, you have to make sure that your base structure offense is good enough to get you the yardage you need, even if you didn't plan for this defense or that, okay? That's what I'm getting at. So, ML Scott wants a thumbs up. Hey ML, even in lieu of thumbs up, I'll take investments. $2 from Monica's fantastic. I'll take more of those. That's hey, if you can't, or you know what? Remember, it's double night. It's double night. So Binwin says Raiders will go to the playoffs. Who will play? Who will they play there? Well, for the Raiders to go to the playoffs, they would have to get over the Broncos. I think the Chargers are going to be formidable this year. I really do. I think the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to give the Raiders a run for their money. I thought maybe the Chiefs at first, but now that I've seen the Chargers, I believe the Chargers, with Keenan Allen back and Joey Bosa's second year on a faster defense, a different design defense, I think they're going to give a lot of people some problems. ML Scott, thank you very much for the investment. Thank you. I think they're going to give people some problems, to say the least. And Rick Grice says, I'm not being negative on purpose, Alan. It's just a bad matchup. We don't even have a middle linebacker yet. Oh, someone asked about Ahmad Brooks, getting Ahmad Brooks on the outside. I think Ahmad Brooks would be a fantastic addition to the Raiders. He's a hitting machine, a great cover outside linebacker. And, you know, he has on occasion played inside, so he gives us that flexibility. I like the idea of Ahmad Brooks, of adding Ahmad Brooks. I really do. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. Kara Christensen says, I don't mean to sound naive, but what does the thumbs up do? It's symbolic. Look, it's symbolic, Karen. It just means people like it, and, you know, it's symbolic. That's what it does. The investments mean more. But thank you, ML Scott, by the way. And in fact, that's double. So this is double night. So remember that. ML's double, Kook Snipes double, Monica's double. This is doubles night. So there you go. So Khalil Matt. 831 Scott says, I think the Texans are dangerous with that offense. If they can get some decent play from their offense, look out. That's... The Texans' offense has potential, I think, with Deshaun Watson. I'm not sold on Savage. I'm not sold on Savage, but Deshaun Watson, yeah. Let me see how they're comparing. In fact, let me check on that, because let's see, Deshaun Watson, Tom Savage. This is Deshaun Watson. I type Rotran Texans. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Houston Texans. That's August 16th. Texans starting QB Tom Savage gets nod over Deshaun Watson, which is too bad. And I've got to do a video about that. How about Deshaun Kaiser getting the nod for starters, okay? Tom Savage will be the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans, Coach Bill O'Brien explained Tuesday. Savage was in competition with...
Smart water is purity inspired by the clouds, and not to throw shade at those clouds.
Oh, okay, there we go, all right. Let's see here. As the starter in Houston's first two preseason games, Savage went 17 of 20, 167 yards and a touchdown. Watson was 18 for 35 for 281 yards, along with 2 rushing touchdowns in the contest. Savage started the last 2 games of the season for the Texans this last season, but he suffered a concussion in the season finale, forcing him to miss the postseason. Savage is going into his 4th season in the NFL. Well, let's see how that happens. You know, let's see how it goes. I would have wanted to see. Have wanted to see Deshaun Watson just get his chance, stick him in there, let him start, let him learn, let him go through the bumps and everything else. All right, and we've got Aaron Blaylock says, "Do you think Connor Cook showed improvement?" I do, dramatic improvement. I really do. He really has taken to the offense. He's settled in. He's doing a much better job than he was in training camp early on. And Corvette says, Ahmad Brooks has interest from Packers and Broncos. He thinks off to Packers first. Rick Rice says that Connor Cook looks solid against the Lambs. I still think E.J. Manuel will be the top backup because of experience. I agree with you, Rick Rice. Karen Christensen says, do you think that E.J. Manuel is a great backup quarterback? Yes, I do. I haven't paid attention to him. Yeah, he's got a great arm, great leader, great field general, can run in a way that Connor Cook cannot. So last thing you want is for Connor Cook to get injured, because look, if even a little bit, and thank you for the 831 Scott, thank you for the investment, thank you. Even a little bit of an injury there it spells a poorly operating Connor Cook passing wise. Okay, I'm not talking about just the Knicks. He's not a gamer in terms of playing with injuries. E.J. Manuel can run. He's tough. He's got the extra dimension that you need in today's NFL. I'm not saying I don't like Connor Cook, and he's great for a purist passing system. So the Raiders have a good mix, So Corvette says Matt Stafford 5 years, $135 million. Yeah, what does that mean? It means that Derek Carr has been eclipsed by Matt Stafford. So we have, is Matt Stafford, I ask you this, Rick Rice, is Matt Stafford an elite quarterback? I'm just asking. So Ben Vaughn says, when's the official start of the season, September 8th or 10th? It's really the 10th. Ms. Zeitgeist says, why does Roger Goodell have another 6 years as commissioner when there's been so many bad things happening on his watch? I'm going to defend Roger because he understands how to work with 32 different dynamic personalities who are very, very rich. And there's a lot more to that than what you see. A lot of what's happened to the NFL really has to be described as just that. The Rick Rice incident, Goodell didn't ask for that. You can go down the line. Josh Brown was arguably mishandled terribly. There are a number of, that's one example there. The relocation issue is the child of a set of owners that have been pushing this, okay? Not Roger. Roger has a deep love for entrenched NFL fan bases that have helped build the tradition of the league as a important part of American culture. So I can't put that on Roger. If anything, I'm actually surprised with all of that they gave him that kind of offer. And it speaks a lot to his political acumen and his ability to steer the NFL through some very choppy waters. Plus, it would send a bad sign to the players if the commissioner were changed or let go just a few years before the collective bargaining agreement negotiations. There's a reason for that timing. I think that was a smart thing to do. So, and it's like I said, it just seems like he's a yes man to the owners and never puts his foot down. Well, that's not really how you do it. You don't, if you have 32 people that are employing you, you don't tell them to blank off. You have to develop your factions. You have a faction over here that helps you achieve what you want to achieve in terms of running it, and you play that faction off the other by giving people what they want. And quite literally, it's called log rolling and vote trading, and that's what Goodell does. He may want some decision over here. For example, with the Raiders and relocation, there's a reason why this was done the way it was done. It was done more to allow the Raiders to test the water rather than the outright, you're out. Okay? That could have happened, but it didn't. And part of that is the NFL having the Raiders stay here because of this fan base. The NFL, in a sense, has set it up so that the Las Vegas relocation effort could fail. And that's because Roger didn't want it to begin with. So there are little nuances here that have to be identified and appreciated. I think the league made the right choice. I think they got it right. I really do. And do I say that with bias because Roger's a friend who's been great to me? Yeah, I do say that with bias. You know. And so, and Kara KD says that Goodell has gravely mishandled the domestic violence cases. He allowed 3 locations. The domestic violence issue was not his best go, but on the other hand, I have 3 words for you: TMZ. TMZ, more than any other publication, came to define how the NFL handled domestic violence. Why? Because the Ray Rice video wound up on TMZ. Had the Ray Rice video not wound up on TMZ, we would have a different discussion now. I bet you that. That defined how the NFL handled that issue. It is the reason why Ray Rice will never play football again, pro football, and it's the reason why we measure how the NFL handles other domestic violence cases. TMZ. Can you control that? No. And that's what has to be appreciated here. 2 words: social media. You're asking a person to handle this in a social media environment with criticisms like yourself, but also with this content that quite literally moves how people think about things. I don't want to miss your comments too much. Like, for example, Katie says, but Commissioner Goodell could have done more due diligence and requested the tape Ray Rice got what he deserved. But see, my point, Kevin, is that even if he had requested the tape and got it, there's nothing stopping it from what happened, achieving public view. And the minute it achieved public view, boom, everything blew up. Was it appropriate for Goodell to give the punishment he did prior to the tape? No. But we only say that for this reason. We saw the tape. Had the tape been burned and we never saw it, everything would have been clear skies. My point is that social media is the one factor that makes governing in any way much harder today because, look, you can't hide. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just honestly explaining to you the difference. And I think Roger Goodell has managed to ride that wave very, very well. That's just the way I look at it. And so you have to have stability. And Alex Perez says Janikowski has no equal, holds the record for longest field goals. Karen Critcher says TMZ is way too intrusive to celebrities. That's how TMZ gets their moniker. As a media person, I'm quite jealous of it. And it really, it does play on your sensibilities, doesn't it? You know, when you have someone doing that. But they love it. There are PR people that arrange those meetups at the airport with TMZ. That's not, oh, I just happened to see him, right? Oh, no. That's all planned. They love it. They love it. And what I've discovered, frankly speaking, in just interviewing Derek Carr is that it didn't get as many views as I wanted to. Now, if Derek Carr does something weird or strange or outrageous, phew, that's our society today. We don't necessarily want to see celebrities being serious. We get a primal charge out of seeing celebrities when they have done something real or bad. You know, real, when I say, is like they show their real selves. They're angry, right? That sort of thing. So, yeah, thanks, Katie says. Katie understands what I'm saying. Hey, folks, it is 1:41. No, Bossy really says, imagine TMZ in Vegas with pro sports there. Oh, completely bad. Yeah, TMZ is here in Atlanta, okay? TMZ is here in Atlanta, okay? I'll repeat that. TMZ is here in Atlanta, all right? So, and controversy sells, as Boss writes in the chat right here. Controversy sells, and he says, set yourself on fire and the world will come to watch you burn. I couldn't have said it better than what he wrote. That's absolutely true. And And Rick Rice says, nope, I'm still here, Rick. Yep, still here. Still here. Still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Still here. It's not all she wrote yet. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when the fat lady sings. Or something like that. Did I just say that? Yeah, you know what I mean. So anyway, still here. Bashirula, just invest, baby. Thank you. Invest like that. Bingo. Remember, it's double night. Okay? And I thought McGregor versus Mayweather was worth every penny that I didn't spend. Nah, seriously. I am happy I didn't spend it. I mean, at this point where I'm at financially, I want to be better. I'm very happy to have been here with Mom, watch the updates on, Instagram is a pretty good place to watch updates on the fight. I'm just saying. It was better than Twitter. And that combined with ESPN, it's nice. Have a nice dinner, sit back, and you talk about the results. And that was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. So, let's see here. Let's see. Beast Boatween, invest in me. Invest in Zenny62 Media. That's what you're here for. Invest with your time. Invest with your ears. Invest with your voice. Invest with your dollars. You get shares back. Hey, let's do it. Make this happen. Karen Christian says, isn't Jankowski Al Davis' last pick left on the team? Actually, Al Davis' last major pick was not Jankowski. It was Terrell Pryor. That's right. Terrell Pryor was Al Davis' pick. And I think a man who should have been groomed to be quarterback, not allowed to be a receiver. I think it's wasted talent. It's just awfully wasted talent. It's terrible. Terrible. So, and Ms. Zeitgeist says there were a lot of empty seats in Vegas for that fight, despite the millions of dollars of ridiculous hype it got. Well, yeah, we'll put this in its proper perspective. For people who wanted to be there, it cost them a pretty penny. But to bet on it is another story. The betting tickets were just out the door, as my mom would say, out the door. But yeah, there were 14,000 seats filled, 18,000 seats. Now, the other question is, did they actually release tickets for all 18,000 seats? And they may not have. If they didn't, then we can't say they didn't really sell it out. Just because they didn't use the whole stadium. Sometimes what happens is when you're event planning, each individual event has different requirements and specifications and sight lines. And so in order to meet those requirements, you may have to eliminate 4,000 seats. And so you go from 18,000 to 14,000. That happens. All right? So Pryor, do I think Pryor is better than Kaepernick? I think Pryor could have been better than Kaepernick had he been left at quarterback, placed in the system that originally was installed, that they originally had him in when Dennis Allen was the head coach, and built a team around him. The prospect of that is, I think about that now, it's just exciting, but it's lost. Hey folks, it's 1:46 a.m. I am exhausted. I am going to go to bed. The big day. I want to thank you all very much, and thank you all. Thank you all. You all. Thank you all. And thank you for your investments. See you tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's different because I may be taking a flight. I'll let you know. And if that's the case, I wouldn't get in till about 10 o'clock or so. So I would do a late live stream, quite literally as I got off the plane. All right. So watch out for that. And if you're around, you want to be up that late, it should be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Okay. But if not, I wish I could do a live stream on the plane. I wish there was a way to do that. But there's not right now. Oh, well. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night. I'll see ya. Good night. Good night. See ya. Good night. Good night. Good night. Forever Oakland, folks. Black hole forever, forever Oakland. Raiders. NFL. And I am an NFL fan. I'll see you. Good night, everybody. I'll see you. Thank you. I'll see you.